Maldivian ex-Muslim atheist convicted for blasphemy, life under threat. Today, we bring you an important update on the case of Mujuthaba, known by his pseudonym Rusthum Russo, the Maldivian atheist prisoner. Mujuthaba is a well-known Maldivian activist who speaks up for the right of freedom of belief. In the Maldives, the blasphemy is a crime. Mujuthaba has been arrested twice for his outspoken criticism of Islam. He was first arrested in September 2019 when he was accused and detained on suspicion of posting quote-unquote obscene material and insulting Islam. He was jailed for more than 6 months without trial. While he was in prison, he faced inhumane conditions, abuse from officials and other prisoners, and punishment for refusing to fast during Ramadan. He was released in March of 2020, but was again arrested for allegedly, quote, obstructing the course of justice. Mujuthaba faced a court hearing held on August 10th, where he was forced to represent himself, and he pled guilty to the charges. He was sentenced to a 4-month prison term, but since he had already served more than that in detention, he was set free. Since his release, Mujuthaba has received numerous death threats and faced legitimate threats of vigilante mob violence, as his photo has been circulated in the media. Human rights organizations such as Humanist International are extremely concerned about Mujuthaba's safety and call on the Maldivian authorities to protect the atheist. So I wanted to cover this news because we talked about what was happening to Rusthum earlier in June or July, and I knew that he was going to be having his hearing, but we needed to wait a little while to see what the results of the hearing were, and so now we know. So as a little bit of background, the timeline of his arrests and unlawful detention is a little bit confusing to me. But the most recent update is that all of a sudden the court gave him 1 week to find representation for himself. And no one wanted to represent him because of his charges and also the nature of his case and how dangerous it likely is to represent someone like that in the Maldives. So he was forced to represent himself, and because he was trying to find representation, he actually missed numerous hearings. Eventually, during this hearing on the 10th, he finally just had to represent himself. He ended up pleading guilty to the charges. They're ridiculous charges to begin with, obviously, like blasphemy is not a crime. And previously, the prosecutors had said, he had only been detained for 29 days, blah, blah, blah. That wasn't true. He had been unlawfully detained for months. And at this new hearing, the prosecutor was forced to apologize for this false statement because the records from, prison or the detention center clearly show that he has been detained for 6 months. And basically, because he pled guilty to the charges, he had to be sentenced. He was facing a 4-month sentence, but because he had already been detained for over 6 months, they said, you can actually just go free now because you already served that time in detention and we can prove it. So the good news is that he's out of detention, he's free, but the bad news is his life is still very much in danger.
All right, thank you so much for keeping us updated on this. Dee has a very interesting, she's very much in contact with this person.
Dee is saying, I spoke to him through Messenger last week. He is very thankful to the NGOs. He's still getting death threats, working on possible asylum. Yes, I hope he's successful in that case.
Also, we got a super chat specifically for you. $5 Canadian in the live chat.
Oh, wait, what does the super chat say?
I highlighted it.
Buy a phone charger for Susie. Well, thank you, Prometheus. I do actually have a phone charger. I just can't plug it in because it'll mess up how I can sit my phone right here. I can try joining again on StreamYard. Hopefully I have better connection now.
Okay. But thank you, Prometheus, for the
thank you so much.
Thank you for the super chat and for the fire.
Thank you for giving us light.
Yeah.
I like that.
Atheist Republic needs your help. We've been the target of many legal attacks by Hindu nationalists ever since our founder, Armin Navabi, blasphemed against Hindu deities. We have retained legal counsel to help us defend our access to our community in India. We have started a fundraiser that will help us afford to tackle many legal issues, including judicial harassment and censorship. Whatever you can contribute will go a long ways in helping us in this fight. Link in the description below.